Hey everybody, welcome back to Project Eunoia. I'm really happy that you guys are here and listening, and yeah, let's get started. The first pilot episode, you guys got to understand the reasoning why Project Eunoia came to be. Just because of my interest in so many different things, it led me to being interested in so many different people, and this led me to wondering about feelings and understanding why people do certain things and the actions that they pursue, everything that they're involved in their everyday life. I'm just so interested, and this is our journey into learning about all these hard, harsh times that we all went through alone. And there's so much that we could do to grow, because no matter what, all these bad things that happen to us, they're going to keep coming back in so many different ways. It's not going to be just the same type of problem every time. And I'll give you a really good example because I go through these always, and I'm pretty sure you guys do too. So going through your life, it's normal, and then all of a sudden just something out of nowhere happens, and you're like, oh my God, really? This? And your mind, it just revolves around that continuously, on and on, every day, every hour, every minute, depending on how focused you are on the issue, and depending on whether you're going through depression, whether you have a lot of anxiety, that really plays a huge part in that thing that's just coming at you out of nowhere. And the way that you respond to that will really have a lot to do with you yourself growing into the future person that you seek to be. So we always say that we need to put forth actions that take us to be the future person that we want to be. If we don't take these small steps in our everyday lives, obviously it's going to take longer. It's going to be a slower process, and you're always going to be saying to yourself, what's going on? Why isn't it happening right now? Whether or not you want to wake up early and start having a routine, because it really took me a really long time to have a morning routine. I would wake up at different times of the day. I really did not care. I was late to everything. I don't know about you guys, but I was the type of person that just late, never on time. One of my friends, she got me a little key tag, and it literally says never on time. So that was a huge thing for me, and I couldn't get past that. And on I would try my best to be on time, do my best to figure out my timing, because for some reason I always thought that I had more time than I actually did. I would think I would plan it out, and I'd be like, Kate, I do this at 1 p.m. and then I'll finish around like 1:30, and I'll probably be by the place around 2. That's how I just planned my day, which was terrible. It led me to so many problems. I was never finished by 1:30, and it takes time to get to the place that you're trying to get to. these plans that you have to create, maybe put them in your notes, put them in a calendar throughout your day. You want to set what you want to do. You want to wake up, you want to finish this task, but you have priorities throughout the day. You have work, you have meetings, you have everything that has anything to do with your daily life needs to be embodied by someone who's really going to envision a stronger future for themselves. To build that success, all these issues that we go through on a daily basis, we have to practice, self-awareness. That's why I always talk about getting to know ourselves, because I truly believe no one knows themselves 100%, and even the people who are your friends, your family, honestly, they know you more than you know yourself at times. Because the thing is, your outer personality is what people see first. You don't really see yourself often. So unless you really look in the mirror in every second, every minute of the day, you don't actually know how you look to an outsider's point of view. But there are ways to fix that. And there's issues with RBF. We all know, resting bitch face. I have that. I know a lot of people who have that. And hey, it's nothing to be insecure about. It's hot. Sometimes people find that attractive. Hey, take that as your plus, okay? Don't look at it as a bad thing. But it's really how we show ourselves to people. We have to be self-aware. And in order to really be self-aware, we have to understand ourselves. I'm going to be going back and forth, trying to get to know ourselves, understanding ourselves, knowing everything that we do on a daily basis that really has a powerful hold on our daily lives. So the way that you portray yourself on a daily basis, the way that you treat people, the way that you treat yourself, it all starts with yourself. When I was younger, I was all about self-discovery, and going back to what I said in the pilot episode, I really did listen to so many different things, and I was huge on learning. I loved learning, and I would always watch documentaries and stuff, and whenever my mom would put the HGTV channel, I would 100% watch that shit with her. That I loved watching people do their homes, and at times the next day I would watch Eunoia. I just spiraled down so many different holes because I was exposed to so many different things in my life, and I loved it. It was awesome. There was so many things to learn and towards myself, and that's how I learned. And putting that towards my jobs that I've had throughout my life, anytime I started a new job, the way I kind of exceeded, I would watch people and I would take whatever they did and put it into what I would do in the future and kind of learn from that. And everyone takes everyone's style and puts it into themselves. And that's kind of how you learn. You start mixing your own personal quality into it, and that's when it becomes amazing, and that's how you grow, and that's how you become great at what you do. Because in all honesty, anyone can do anything. You know, everything is or can be taught. You know, I know so many people who were terrible singers and now they sing like angels. Definitely not me. You know, I tried to when I was young, and hey, I wasn't the one that just became, you know, a singing angel like everyone else did. But something else found me. And the thing is, something will find you. It's really just how much you're willing to put forth all your skill towards it. Because if you're not happy or interested in what you're going to do, you're not really going to put anything into it. So it really starts with that, and that's how, when we go back, it's all about getting to know yourself. So I'm going to tell you guys a story from when I was still discovering myself, I would say. I don't know. I think it really played a big part in who I am today. I would say even when I was in college, I didn't really listen to a lot of the music that I listen to right now or do a lot of the things that I do right now. I was a completely different person in college, I would say. And I think a lot of the people close to me would agree that all of us have changed, but in amazing ways. I see so many people around me that I went to school with, and I see them doing so many amazing things in their lives. They're growing to be inspiring people, and kind of brought this up to a friend of mine a few weeks ago, and I kind of realized that when I was young, I would watch TV and watch these shows, and it would always have these people that lived in sky-high buildings and had these amazing jobs and wear such beautiful clothing and had amazing cars. And I wanted that for myself. I was like, whoa, this is not real. This is what you see in movies. And I know it's not just extravagant, but when we're young and we see that, we think, wow, that's like crazy, you know? And I want that for myself. So I don't know about you guys, but that's just how I was. And I was like, holy, like, will I ever move out of my home? Will I ever do this? Will I ever be independent? Will I ever have my own career or do anything that makes me happy? And that really is what pushed me to myself. I moved to Lake Louise for an internship, and during that time I was like really getting to know myself. I was all alone out of all my classmates there, and a lot of my closer friends were in Canmore. And I'm like, oh my God, great. Like, what am I doing here in Lake Louise? But hey, in my opinion, it really changed my life. I really got to know myself in an amazing way. After I out of my mom's and went and lived in Lake Louise, I'm like, wow, if I can ever move back. Like, I've finally experienced the outside. I think this is how you feel when I don't even know, but those like Disney movies, and then they go outside to the new world, like, oh, Jasmine, a whole new world. That was literally my life in Lake Louise. And there was so much that happened, so many people I met, and I really, really got to know myself. And during that time, I was also going through a really depressive state. We might go into detail in future episodes, but it was just from the people who were closest to me during that time, from when I moved to Lake Louise and from when I came back to Calgary. My whole life kind of changed. And I moved back and forth and kind of lived in Canmore for a bit to work with a friend of mine as well. And in that whole time frame, a lot changed. And I would say that's why during that time it really changed who I was as a person, because I was like, wow, I really experienced life beginning, and I experienced life completely ending. And that really, really plays a huge part in why Project Eunoia is what it is today and who I am today, because it was that struggle and it was that new feeling that really pushes you over the edge. So throughout my life, battling a lot with mental health, having like severe depression and keeping it to myself for so many years, and then it really coming out to the people around me. And it's just, I struggled a lot with my self-worth, and I had a really, really, really long battle with myself. And throughout the years, I was the people's yes man. I would say yes to everybody. I did everything for everybody. I think that's when you really feel that you need that connection and you need that love, because you don't have that for yourself. And that's why you just surround yourself with so many different people to get rid of the feeling of that void that just up constantly. And I'll kind of go back and say those problems that just suddenly show up out of nowhere can be a problem that really affected you when you were younger or when you were growing to be who you are right now. It'll constantly come and control you. But it's what we're going to do that really pushes past void that we don't want, and just completely discover ourselves and this whole new world one more time, but in a more vast and more happy way. But in order to do that, to speak to ourselves kindly. And in order to speak to ourselves kindly, it all starts with one small thing. Just taking good care of yourself. Waking up in the morning, having your daily routine, doing something good, and doing something that you love. So during the first few episodes of Project Eunoia, I'm going to try to get personal with you guys. So I'm hoping starting here and starting now with this episode, you guys will get to know me and understand why not only am I here today, but why you're here today. So thank you so much for listening today. You have 24 hours on your day-to-day basis to make every minute of your life count. So, thank you so much for listening. I love you, and I will see you in the next episode.